We're a team, we're united under Nigel's leadership. And look, we're all busy.
Bit weird though, isn't it? He's not that busy. He's posting online an awful lot. Why is he not welcomed Robert Jenrick joining?
I would suggest you've got an overactive research team who really should have better things to do.
Well, I looked at it actually.
Before we dive into the full story, comment where you're watching from. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. That single line right there, you've got an overactive research team who really should have better things to do. Tells you exactly how this interview is going to go. Because what you're about to watch is a textbook example of the trying, and completely failing, to manufacture a political ambush. In this clip, the host genuinely believes he's cornered Reform UK. He thinks he's lined everything up perfectly, old tweets, half-remembered quotes, supposed internal tensions, all the usual gotcha material that passes for serious journalism these days. The goal is obvious: embarrass Reform, create headlines, turn gossip into substance. And at the center of it all is who the presenter clearly expects to stumble, explain himself, or start firefighting rumors. But that never happens. Instead of playing along, Tice immediately reframes the entire exchange. He exposes the tactic for what it is: a media class obsessing over social media activity while the country is dealing with immigration failures, economic pressure, and collapsing trust in politics. That's what makes this so uncomfortable to watch for the BBC. They're not talking about policy. They're not talking about outcomes. They're talking about tweets. And the moment Tice calls that out, the whole setup starts to fall apart. The authority shifts. The rhythm changes. The interviewer isn't in control anymore. So as we go through this clip, pay attention to one thing in particular: how often the questions drift back to gossip, and how consistently Tice drags the conversation back to substance. Because this isn't just a bad interview for the BBC. It's a clear illustration of why so many viewers no longer take political media seriously. Let's watch the takedown.
Who knows about these things behind the scenes? Earlier this evening, I spoke to the Reform UK's deputy leader, Richard Tice. I began by asking him, did Robert Jenrick jump, or was he pushed?
In terms of the journey, he was pretty much there, as I understand. It's obviously a very difficult thing when you've been in a party, of any party, since the age of 16 for a number of decades. So it's a big decision, but it's welcome. He's done the right thing. It's only Reform that can take on and beat Labour at the next general election.
It's another Conservative in Reform UK ranks. Has everyone in the party welcomed his arrival?
Yes, very much so. People who believe in our principles and values, from any party or no party, people understand that he has a strong support base, and that he is considered strong on issues that we fundamentally believe in, around stopping the boats, about controlling immigration, about scrapping net stupid zero, about safer streets, law and order, and about how to get the public finances under control so that we can make people better off.
You say everyone's welcomed it. Zia Youssef, the head of policy for Reform UK, welcomed it. He's been posting online an awful lot in the last 24 hours. He's posted nothing about Robert Jenrick that I could see. He did post when Nadeem Zahawi joined earlier this week. They had a high-profile spat in the past. He wasn't at the big unveiling of Robert Jenrick. Is there some tension there?
Look, we're a team. We're united under Nigel's leadership. And look, we're all busy.
Bit weird though, isn't it? He's not that busy. He's posting online an awful lot. Why is he not welcomed Robert Jenrick joining?
I would suggest you've got an overactive research team who really should have better things to do.
Well, I looked at it actually myself, Richard.
Look, at the end of the day, we're focused on policies, on how to continue to lead in the polls, and our campaign strategy for the May elections, where we're allowed to have them, because of course Labour are frit, they're running scared, they're cancelling elections up and down the country. Over 4 million people, it looks like, are going to be denied. Oh, and by the way, including some Conservative councils as well, who are also running scared of Reform.
You couldn't be more delighted about welcoming in someone who your own leader said was a fraud, said don't believe a word he says. You said Robert Jenrick doesn't get it. Robert Jenrick said, I want to put Reform out of business. I want to send Nigel Farage back to retirement.
Look, the reality is we believe in the same principles and values. Of course, it's a competitive world in the world of politics. Actually, competition is a good thing. We believe in competition. It makes everybody perform better. And yes, sometimes there's a bit of rough and tumble between parties. Look, that's That's the nature of it. But fundamentally, we believe in the same principles and values. We debate policy. We come to what we think are the right decisions. We put those to the people. And guess what? We're leading in some 200 national polls by give or take 9 or 10%. We must be doing something right.
What you've done in the last few months is invite in some of the people most responsible for the Conservative governments since 2019, starting with Boris Johnson and onwards. Robert Jenrick was in the Treasury under Theresa May. He was at Housing under Boris Johnson. He was at Health under Liz Truss. He was Immigration on Rishi Sunak. You've got Nadine Zahawi, who was at Treasury, Education, COVID in Business. Nadine Dorries was at Culture. David Jones was at Wales. Andrea Jenkins was in the Whip's office in Education.
And do you know what that does?
Jake Berry was at Community and Local Government. Almost every single department that you think has failed since 2019, you've brought the people responsible into Reform UK.
Robert Jenrick is the only cabinet minister who resigned on a matter of principle from the Conservative government. That makes him uniquely qualified to explain where things went so badly wrong on both legal and illegal immigration, which is to the fury of tens of millions of British people. And sure, what the list you've just read out there shows the whole point about experience. And yes, people make mistakes, and they learn from that. They put their hands up. They say, I got this right. I got this wrong. We've learned from what we've got wrong, and we won't do it again.
But what is it about Robert Jenrick? He saw huge, while he was Immigration Minister, Robert Jenrick, when he was Immigration Minister, saw huge rises in people coming in small boats.
And he resigned as Immigration Minister. So the whole point.
Because he threw up his hands in the air and said, I can't do anything about it. So why do you think, that's just the man for the job? He oversaw a mess and then he walked away from it. Why do you think that that's the sort of man that you want in your team?
Doesn't that show integrity and principle that actually he left?
Well, it shows that he can't do anything about a massive problem.
He realised that his bosses and his colleagues in cabinet were not prepared to do what needed to be done, which is what the British people voted for. I think that shows actually strength and principle. And look, at the end of the day, we've got the situation as we have. We've got a growing team. We've got, I think we're almost the largest, or are the largest party in terms of members, and we are by far and away the largest party in the polls. That shows people want us to lead the next government, but of course they need a strong team, and Robert is a very welcome asset to that strong team.
More to come? Has your phone been ringing off the hook in the last 24 hours?
I'm not going to give a running commentary on my phone calls, but my phone's always busy.
We're told to expect a major Labour figure next week. Is that right?
Well, you'll have to be patient, wait and see. But yes, there will be a significant event early next week.
Is it a Labour MP, though? Because that's the big prize for you, isn't it? To show that Reform UK isn't just a retirement home. Patience is a
virtue. You can look forward to it all weekend. Patience is a virtue.
But if it's not an MP, doesn't that just reinforce the criticism of your opponents? I'm not going to give you any
more clues, cunning tips, apart from that. Just look forward to next week.
Richard Tice, Deputy Leader of Reform UK. Thanks for joining us on Newsnight tonight.
Thank you.
This was total control from Richard Tice, and it completely exposed the sorry state of the modern media class. Because once again, look at what the interviewer was actually obsessed with. Not policy. Not outcomes, not the direction of the country. Tweets, likes on X, who posted what, and whether Zia Yusuf might be quietly annoyed behind the scenes. That isn't journalism, it's gossip dressed up as scrutiny. While the BBC was rummaging around in social media timelines, Tice was doing something far more dangerous to the establishment, talking about real issues. Immigration that isn't under control, an economy that's squeezing ordinary people, a political system that's visibly wobbling. And when he called out that so-called overactive research team, he wasn't being flippant. He was pointing out a deeper problem. The BBC genuinely believes it's playing political chess at a grandmaster level, when in reality it's stuck arguing over screenshots and speculation. Tice brushed it aside effortlessly, like swatting away a fly, and the imbalance was obvious. But there was something even more revealing right at the end of that exchange, and it barely got the attention it deserved. Did you catch the Labour Insider comparison? They likened the current government to the Titanic, ministers sailing confidently toward an iceberg they can't avoid. That isn't coming from reform, it's coming from inside Labour Party itself. Think about how serious that is. While the BBC is busy trying to land cheap hits on Reform UK, the actual government, under Keir Starmer, is already being described by its own side as doomed. Only months in, and insiders are admitting the ship is taking on water. That's why Tice sounded so confident when the conversation turned to possible defections. It wasn't bravado. It was calculation. When people inside a governing party start talking like that, loyalty evaporates quickly. And in politics, when panic sets in, people start looking for lifeboats. Right now, Reform UK is presenting itself as the only vessel that isn't leaking. And that's what has the media rattled. So here's the real question to think about. Is the BBC biased, or are they simply incapable of recognizing where the real political story actually is? And who do you think is about to jump ship next?